In 1987, Akron, Ohio was at a tipping point that the city had not seen in a century. The city that made most of America's tires in 1957 had not a single job building tires in 1987. The Big Four Fortune 500 rubber companies had been closing factories. Akron lost 30,000 manufacturing jobs in just over 10 years. Downtown was a main street of empty storefronts, and neighborhoods suffered from a decade of disinvestment.
Cities throughout America go through troubled times, but there's one thing that was different about Akron, and a lot of it was because of Don Plusquellic.
He's always looking at new and better ways to really advance our community.
Well, I think Don rekindled entrepreneurism in Akron. The fact that it's now on our lips, it's now talked about in Akron, I don't think it was in those days.
He has the ability to look into the future.
He had a vision that he could go global. And because of Don Plusquellic, Akron is where it is today.
I'm not even sure my own company, Gojo, would have stayed in Akron, but for the entrepreneurial spirit which Don helped create.
In 1987, Akron required a new kind of leader if the city were to reinvent itself. And over 28 years, Mayor Don Plusquellic transformed the city he loves. Don's dad, David Plusquellic, labored in Akron's rubber plants. He and Betty raised 4 children in Kenmore who attended the public schools. As a quarterback for the Kenmore Cardinals, Don was All-City, All-District, and First-Team All-State. When he returned to Akron from Bowling Green, Don knew classmates at Kenmore who had gone to Vietnam, and some who did not return. At 23 years old, he became councilman for the 9th Ward, to be re-elected 6 times. His colleagues elected him as president of City Council, and when Tom Sawyer succeeded John Seiberling as congressman, the city charter put Don in the mayor's chair. But he had to run and win his first election as mayor. He refused to surrender downtown Akron to the blight that had overtaken it. He cleaned up the old Goodrich plant that would become the new headquarters for advanced elastomer systems. He created industrial parks that opened new spaces for new business. He led the way in Columbus to enable the creation of Ohio's first joint economic development districts. Akron regained its optimism as residents began to see progress. In 1994, a new convention center. In 1995, the National Inventors Hall of Fame became an architectural icon for the city and the future home of a nationally recognized STEM school. In 1997, a new AA baseball stadium opened to the Cleveland Indians farm team, first the Arrows and then the Rubber Ducks. In 2004, a new public library greeted 1 million visitors each year. In 2007, the new Akron Art Museum opened to international acclaim. But that same year presented 2 huge challenges: whether the city could retain 3,000 jobs at Goodyear and 1,000 more at Bridgestone Firestone. Mayor Plusquellic quarterbacked the team of city, county, state, and federal officials that assembled a public investment of $100 million that led to Goodyear's building its new world headquarters in Akron. A like amount would be invested to retain Bridgestone's technical center here.
Don was very adept at making sure he had the right people around the table to have those conversations. And being able to sit at a table with leaders of the Bridgestone company said a lot about the way our community would come together and put a human face to it.
First Energy Corporation built a new campus on White Pond Drive. Sterling Jewelers expanded its footprint on city land in West Akron. With the Greater Akron Chamber, Plusquellic aggressively pursued European companies. Expansion Management magazine ranked Akron among the top 15 metros in the nation in European investment for 3 consecutive years.
Akron has a brand, and the reason we do have a brand is because of Don Plusquellic. He has branded our city as an international city, And we've been very, very successful in doing that.
Don's the consummate salesman. The notion that they could actually meet the mayor with a phone call made Don very special for our area and made Akron, in his image really, a friendly town, a town that you could do business with.
German manufacturing giant Röchling built a new factory in the Maslin Road Industrial Park. Don led a transformation of Akron's 30-year-old industrial incubator, which evolved into the Akron Global Business Accelerator. More than a change in name, it was a leap of faith by local leaders to become prime movers in the technology-based knowledge economy. Mayor Plusquellic led change throughout Akron. Putting together a team of housing partners, the mayor made the push to win 2 federal grants for Akron. Cascade Village and Edgewood Homes together were an investment of $150 million. He realized that the city's population would never grow with a declining public school system. He championed a community-wide campaign to pass one of the largest levies in the city's history to ensure a financial stable base for the schools. Then in 2003, he created the Community Learning Center project, the first in the state of Ohio. Voters approved an increase in the income tax with 64% approval to secure matching funds of more than $400 million to rebuild almost every school building as jointly held property to benefit all of Akron's neighborhoods. The unprecedented partnership was why Akron garnered its 3rd All-America City Award from the National Civic League. Plusquellic invested city funds in the Akron After School Project for 1,000 at-risk students, and when he encouraged LeBron James to support Akron school kids, neither of them could have guessed that the first bike-a-thon in 2005 would, by the year 2020, evolve into the I Promise network that would be a national model for public education. Don wanted Akron's prosperity in these years to be shared by everyone. He appointed Akron's first African-American police chief and fire chief. In 1997, he invited President Bill Clinton to hold his first town meeting on race in Akron. He supported the Roadrunner Akron Marathon, one of America's 50 great marathons. The region responded to downtown development. Don was a co-founder of Akron's First Night. And he cleared the land to create Akron's new Central Park, Lock 3 and later Lock 4. Together, they have hosted over 3 million visitors since 2003. His passion for coaching young people prompted his interest in providing mentors for students in the arts, and his Lock 3 Summer Arts experience employed artists and more than 600 high school arts apprentices over a 10-year period. They received the same kind of acknowledgement that young athletes receive. Akron's mayor became known around the world. Plusquellic was asked to keynote economic conferences in Argentina, Berlin, Croatia, Finland, Israel, Lyon, France, Istanbul, Wuhan, China, and others. Don's appreciation for the benefits of world travel has extended to his grandchildren. Separate from his trips on behalf of the city, he has personally funded trips to the continent with 3 of the people he cares for most.
We went to Paris and London, and then the year after, Allie came with me, and we got to go to Spain.
Switzerland, France, Italy, Cuba, Spain, Germany, Czech Republic.
I've seen Ireland and England.
I've always been into the arts, and so everywhere we go, we try to go to new museums or just see different things in different aspects. And so having that bigger cultural view of the world is very important, and it shapes who I am and my view on everything, really.
I really like the sports, and I love to try the new food.
He's kind of a go type of person. We visited the Eiffel Tower, and the line for the elevator was actually like extremely long, and so we ended up walking the entire height of the Eiffel Tower.
One of my first memories of Don was when Pete DeAngelis and I went to pick him up to go with us to an event. when I was running for mayor. As we approached his house, he began to wave at us. I thought he was just being friendly. I should have known better. As we pulled into the drive, our car sunk into the new pavement that had just been laid. It turns out he was not waving hello, but rather, hell no, don't pull into the drive.
Don Plusquellic's career in public service spans 5 decades. He led Akron into the 21st century, the city's 59th mayor, and its longest-serving mayor in history. The city today is a far different place than when he became mayor in 1987.
Really, we owe him a great deal of gratitude for the fine job he did do as mayor. I love you. You're a great guy, and you did more than anyone could ever dream possible in the 28 years that you served as mayor.
I don't think he's ever given up on a dream of his. He's always made sure that they happen.